Hey, welcome back to Karen's Papercraft. Thank you very much for watching. In today's video I'm featuring the Bottled Happiness stamp set and a really pretty card that you can make with it. Here it is. It's a square card, 5.5 by 5.5 inches, 14 by 14 centimeters, and the bottles look like real glass. I hope you can see that. Now, in the video I'm showing you how I create this look with the Stamparatus. So I'll show you the card up close, and with this one I've used the glazing method twice, and I'm not sure if the camera picks this up, but in real life it looks even better, more like glass. The bottle really stands out on the paper. So the card, I'm going to show you the stamp set that I've used in more detail. Bottled Happiness, I've used these two and the sprig. And there's this bottle as well, which is really beautiful. And then this is a two-step stamping method, and when you stamp it, it looks like this. But I didn't think that I wanted green centres to the flower, so I've been experimenting with, instead of making it a two-step method, making it into a four-step method. I'm still brooding on that, so when I find something that I think that works, I will film that as well. If not, okay, I've spent some nice time happily trying something out. So this is the stamp set. I'll get the sprig out because I have already mounted the bottles on my Stamparatus, and I'm going to show you in a minute how to do the Stamparatus stamping. Then we're going to take a look at the cardstock that you need. I have here an A4 sheet of Parakeet Party, and I have a piece of basic white. This is 5 inches. First I'm going to cut my card, and because this is A4 it is longer than 11 inches, so first I have to trim it down to 11 inches, which is easy enough to do on your trimmer. And then you score it to 5.5, so I can put the arm back in. 5.5, and then with the long side top you score at 5.5 as well. And that is the card base. You can fold it, use your bone folder to make a nice flat crease. And this now is 5.5 by 5.5, or 14 centimeters by 14 centimeters. Full length 28 centimeters, scored at 14 centimeters. Then you need 3 pieces of basic white, and I already mentioned that this was 5 inches. And then I need 3 1.5 inch pieces. So I'm going to cut those as well. Then I'll show you how I set up my Stamparatus. Because it is a photopolymer stamp set, you need the extra mat as well, and I've cut a little piece of grid paper down, and I'm going to secure that with a magnet in the top, and my 1.5 piece by 5 inches I'm going to put in the corner up against those lines, you see. Then I know where my paper was. Secure that with a magnet as well. And then, I'll show you how I do this. If I use more plates to stamp with, I keep them in a little plate rack. See, this is one of those, I think I got this one from IKEA, really inexpensive, but you could put a lot of plates in there to keep them handy while you're still, put it in straight, while you're still stamping. So then, I'm going to set up my Stamparatus. I've got my breadboard here for the heat embossing, and I'm going to put on a plate. First of all, I'm going to do the stamping of all the 3 bottles. Oh, and before I do so, it looks better, I think, if for the bottles on the outside your sprig goes towards the outside, and then the bottle in the middle can go, the sprig can go up straight. So here I've put my piece in, and first I'll do the Parakeet Party and Evening Evergreen bottle. And I'm going to first stamp the outline, there you see, with the darkest colour. Oh, and the sprig, by the way, is Evergreen, Evening Evergreen as well. So for my last bottle, I'm going to talk you through the process. You have seen it now. So I'm putting my piece of basic white onto the Stamparatus. Then I start with the outline of the bottle. That is Starry Sky. And I want this to be really dark, so I'm stamping it twice, because I'm going to do the bottle itself in Orchid Oasis, and that colour is a bit darker than, for example, the Tahitian Tide, and I do want the outline of the bottle to show, to really show. So that's dark enough, and my chamois is in the wash, so I'm using just another kind of cloth to clean my stamps with. That is important, that you, if you want to change colours, that you do clean off your stamp meanwhile. Now, before I pull it up, I can stamp my sprig. And this is the bottle that's going towards the left, so I'm stamping my sprig a bit towards the left. Then I'm going to stamp the bottle itself in Orchid Oasis. When I was filming just now, I realised, is everything I'm doing still visible? And it is, just. So I'm stamping this. And then, oh, I should have put my magnet back on. Oh dear. I hope it's okay still. Then I'm cleaning off my stamp, because now I'm going to use the Versamark and the Stamping Emboss powder. Let me just put it, oh, that's the influence of the magnets, not on the powder, but on my spoon. It does acrobatics. So I'm putting my Versamark on, and then I'm going to heat set it in a minute, and you saw me do this before, I'll explain it to you now. When I've done the first layer of embossing powder, while it is still warm, I add more powder and heat set it again, and then you get this double glazing look, which makes the bottle really look like a bottle, even more than with just one layer. You can do one layer if you want to, but I discovered that I like the 2 layers more. I have to be careful with my spoon, because that is metal and I've got these strong magnets underneath. So I'll get rid of my Stamparatus and do the heat embossing, and then put on a double layer. I'm just checking if this has cooled down a bit. Because of the double layer, it needs a bit more time to cool, so I'll start with the bottle on the right. I use my grid paper for this as well, because I just put my cardstock on, and then I'm adhering it 1/4 inch from the edges, so here and there on your grid paper. You can see I'm going to do this upside down now. It makes it easier for me to adhere. So I put a bit of seal in the middle. Then along the edges I'm putting my liquid glue. Oh yes, great, Karin. Oh dear, oh dear. And I'm using my tweezers, and now of course I have to make sure I have my bottle the right way up, which is upside down in this case. So you can even do it like this if you want to. You have a bigger grid line there. So I'm using my grid lines to put the piece on, 1/4 inch there, there and there. Then I'm turning it over, and this is cool now. Same process. So I leave the middle one for last. That way you can be sure that along the edges all the pieces look fine. Because if you start there, there and there may be too much space there. So start on the outside and then proceed to the middle. Again, I'm using my grid lines for that 1/4 inch mark. 6 millimeters if you work in centimeters. You could turn your grid paper over, and then you see this one can go in the middle, and now it's easy to align it against the other two. A simple card, but I think it looks really effective because of the bright colours. Now I'm turning it over and using my bone folder to make sure that all the glue has spread, the liquid glue that is. And I'm doing it from this end because this is, it is smooth, but it'll catch your fingers if you try to do it, and then your paper might still move after all. Well, here you have a couple of pretty cards finished. I didn't add a sentiment on purpose because I can always add a sentiment later, and this could be a birthday card, get well card, a thank you card, what have you. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.